episode of Sports and Songs podcasts. We're your hosts, Dan and Andy. Today's season 4, episode number 22, the Songs edition. Andy, how are you doing?
Yeah, doing very well. How about you?
Good. We've got our album review of the week, and then hopefully we've got some updates on songs, music, new releases, tours,
Yeah.
concerts, all that fun stuff.
Happy-go-lucky stuff.
Now it's nice outside. It's 76 degrees.
The sun is shining. The birds are singing.
I had to pick a Ted Nugent album, Andy.
Yes,
Start us
spring
off
is in the air. What up?
in the right frame of mind here.
Yes.
So here we go. Let's do an album review of Scream Dream. Now, all of you have probably seen this album before. There we go.
Ted.
Ted Nugent, Uncle Ted, is never too short on great album covers. Here he's got his arms as guitars. Can't teach that. You can't even make that stuff.
You can't make that stuff up.
You can't make it up. So this is Scream Dream. It's the 6th studio album by American hard rock musician Ted Nugent, released June of 1980. And Andy, a couple months here, it's going to be celebrating the 43rd anniversary of this album.
Wow.
43 years ago. It's the last studio album to feature drummer Cliff Davies.
Yep.
Now, I didn't know too much about Cliff Davies, but he used him on these a lot of these albums. Ted Nugent, other people like that are solo guys. Alice Cooper, they revolve around some various studio musicians on these albums. Sometimes they're similar, sometimes they're the same recurring folks. But Cliff Davies did not appear after this. This album opens with Wango Tango. It also became an instant Nugent standard.
Yeah,
including the humorous middle breakdown section in which he shows off his Carnival Barker-esque rap on that song. Very fast. Other highlights include the song Terminus El Dorado, the title track, Scream Dream, and Hard as Nails. Now, Wango Tango and Scream Dream later were included in the compilation album, The Very Best of Ted Nugent. Now, I didn't hear the song Scream Dream until later in life when I started researching these older bands that I kind of missed in my youth. But you've heard Wango Tango and some of these other songs, but Scream Dream was new to me until just maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah, a lot of movies, teenage movies based on the late 70s, early 80s have a lot of Ted Nugent stuff in it. So yeah, Wango Tango is very popular.
Oh, yes. Now here's the songs.
Side B.
Okay, let's get into the personnel because I'm going to go back to the songs. The personnel is really just Ted doing the lead vocals and lead and rhythm guitars. And the rest of these, hopefully you can fill me in on some of these guys. Charlie Hune is the rhythm guitar on this album. Also does the lead vocals on 2 different tracks. Cliff Davies lead vocals on one of the tracks and plays drums. And Dave Kazwini on bass. Now, the first song is Wango Tango. Now, the background musicians are women in the back singing. They're credited on the album cover, on the album sleeve, as called the Immaculate Wangettes, doing the backing vocals. The Immaculate Wangettes. So here's the tracks: Wango Tango, Scream Dream, Hard as Nails. Song I Gotta Move. That's sung by Charlie Hune. Violent Love. All the songs that have strange or interesting titles are all the Ted Nugent songs. The normal ones are by the others. So Violent Love is, of course, Ted Nugent. Flesh and Blood is a song by Ted Nugent. Spit It Out, of course, is by Ted Nugent. Now, Come and Get It. Come and Get It is a Cliff Davies vocals. On that one, Terminus El Dorado is the next song. That's Nugent. And then it finishes off with Don't Cry, and in parentheses, I'll be back for before you know it, baby. That's Charlie Hune as well does the vocals in that. So 10 songs, 7 by Ted, 3 by others. And those are the songs. The total track of this is 35 minutes, 21 seconds, released on Epic, and it's considered the genre, hard rock. The 3 studios used were in New York City, Miami, Florida, and Ann Arbor, Michigan. And the only song released was Wango Tango with the B-side Scream Dream. Now, here's a review on the album. One person wrote, "The oral mayhem created here could be made by no other person than Nugent. While he does nothing on this outing that he hasn't done before. It's not the latest in music or music, anything to do with music and cutting edge recording. It's just hard rock music. It's nothing he's done before, but he does it with enough zest and relish to make his point come across. He continues in the well-trod path of his hook-laced heavy metal with blazing guitar licks and intentionally humorous lyrics. Do you agree with that?"
Intentionally humorous, yes, but I think it's also his sarcasm, getting back at people sometimes comes across as humor to others. But yeah, Ted's just having fun.
Ted is just having fun. And you can tell on an album like this, he's not out to make money. It's not highly marketed or promoted. I think it went gold, 500,000 sales. It was not, none of these were really platinum albums by Ted Nugent.
Right.
And they reached, the Collector's Guide to Heavy Metal places this album a 9 out of 10 stars for the Collector's Guide to Heavy Metal. You've got to have it. You've got to own it. It rose to number 13 on the Billboard 200 back in 1980, and Wango Tango rose up the charts to only reach to peak at number 86. So it's nothing wild. It's just fun. Music you'd pop in the car and blare it in the summer with the top down kind of stuff.
Yeah, this is not music you have with mom in the car. It's not music you have as background music. It's you in the car, you doing your workout or something like that. You don't really. It tends to be appreciated, in my opinion, like by yourself, just to sit and listen to.
Yep, yeah, and that's a key word, appreciated. And he's got a lot of enemies. People do not like the man, and of course, later in life, that was true, certainly the case. But back then, this guy was a fun-loving. 1977, I believe, in the U.S., this was the top ticket for concerts. 1977, this was the leading act in America, was a Nugent concert tour.
And Ted Nugent, keyword, fun-loving. His addictions and his side personalities, yes.
Yeah. The man
and Gene Simmons have a lot in common in that.
He has a sexual appetite that was considered an addiction.
Yep.
And much like Gene Simmons, and he used it. He utilized that and put it into his music, into his songs, and his lyrics. But good stuff. Very, very funny. He's now settled down and married and whatnot. But Ted Nugent, Scream Dream, the let's see, how do I say this? The music video for Scream Dream itself, not Wango Tango, but Scream Dream, was just a video footage of him and the band playing the song. Yep. This was before MTV came along, so it was more of a promotional video.
Yeah.
MTV came in '82, and they ended up getting some heavy rotation on some of these older Ted Nugent stuff because they had it in inventory. Hey, let's play it. Some music videos from Ted Nugent a couple of years later.
So of course, they're all played after 9 o'clock at night too.
Yes, they had to play it very late. He did a lot of screaming, but the long hair and the topless and him in the loincloth there is a typical Ted Nugent. What are your thoughts remembering your youth on this album?
My youth of Ted Nugent was one of those, like I said, radio station play was not a big thing for him back in the day, and he didn't care.
Yeah.
He knew he was going to make his money in concerts. He was going to make it in album sales. He didn't really worry about geez, I hope my song makes number one. He didn't really give a rip. He was having a good time, plays his music. Yeah, heavy metal, hard rock, yeah. I'm a big blues guy, that. I don't hear much blues in there, but I can tell it's influenced in there a little bit by some of the guitars he has. And Ted's just if you go back in your Ted history, before his solo stuff when he was with the Amboy Dukes, that's where him and Charlie Hune did a lot of stuff when they were younger, starting out.
Okay.
Ted's been doing this since high school. I mean, by the time this came out, he was a veteran in the business. So, a lot of our fans and their kids probably remember him from Damn Yankees. That was not his first gig, obviously. And he really didn't need to be in that band for the band to get notified. I mean, you had Tommy Shaw and Jack Blades in there. So you had two guys whose names could have carried the band anyway. That just shows you the respect they had for Ted, kind of maybe as they were younger guitarists. Oh, Ted's cool. Let's have him in our band. It wasn't a let's throw Ted a bone. He needs money for an album either.
Correct.
It was three guys, three different types of music, but just mixed together good, you know. So Ted just enjoyed playing, and that's the way it worked out. Like I said, Ted never cared about the album sales. He did. I mean, or not the album sales, the radio play.
Yeah.
He had fun in concert. That's what a Ted Nugent concert too was fun. Was it a stage show? I guess. Not like a Kiss stage show or Queen stage show or something like that, but
But
stage
his acrobatics flying across the stage, jumping off the amplifiers, crazy. Yeah. The guy was nuts.
He's been known also back in the day. I think it was with Damn Yankees or just before Damn Yankees. Ted's an avid outdoorsman, sportsman. He would take a bow and arrow and fire it across the stage into a stuffed bear, deer, or whatever he had at the other end. But he'd light it on fire before he did it. Stage show. Well, the town he was in said, "There'll be no flames indoors, young man." Well, Ted said, "Really? Who do I make the check out to?" Lit the thing and fired it across the stage, you know? I'm paraphrasing what he said because it's Ted, but, you know, that's basically, I'm sure, the conversation, you know? But that was his stage show, and that's what was fun to see. Ted, again, he's gotten into the politics. He's an advocate for outdoor sports, which I'll get into later, or outdoor sportsmen like the hunting and the fishing and the gaming there. Yeah, he's still doing very well. Dabbles every now and then a song here and there. Big Detroit sports fan, Detroit area fan. So I wouldn't be surprised if once a year somewhere at some event he's playing the national anthem. You know,
he's kind of like Alice Cooper in that regard.
Yeah.
With his lot of respect back to Michigan, and he was born, I think, in Jackson, Michigan. Nugent. Yeah, big outdoorsman, hunter, a promoter guy, and a big advocate of the sport. And I don't think that he's ever, growing up, drugs, alcohol, nothing. Very clean lifestyle.
He's straight edge, yeah, as they say, straight edge.
And so very, very straight. Now, do you have anything else on Mr. Ted here?
I do have some stuff on Ted. As we are there, you know, Ted's a big sportsman, rifle, bow, everything else. He always has his pictures like this. He's not afraid to admit it. He eats meat and he doesn't care who knows it. He's got enough land where he is up there. He does the whole circle of life for food, if you will. Okay. Yeah, that deer's got a very nice rack on it. I'm sure its head is displayed in his house somewhere. But he also feeds these deer throughout the year. He doesn't bait them in. Like some people say, oh, he baits them in on his land. That he feeds them, he cares for them. But he also believes that God put animals here to be hunted and eaten. So that's what he does. Do I have a problem with that? No. Is it something I do? No. You know, just because I don't do it doesn't mean I'm not okay with it. If he has the land for it and wants to do it, I have no issue with what he does. I have no issue with his politics. He says what he believes, and I respect that. Do I agree or disagree? That's for a bonus episode another day for sports, songs, and politics. But, you know, that's the thing I respect about Ted, though, too. You ask him his opinion, he will give it to you. He's kind of got that sarcasm, like I said, in it. And I compare his opinions, like I've said before, when he speaks about the hunting and the fishing or about politics or about what he thinks of other people. He's very what I call Rush Limbaugh-like. I don't like the way he goes about it, what he says, but if you listen to the point he's trying to make, okay, that I agree with. I don't like the way he presents it sometimes. It's maybe a little too brash or a little too in your face for some people. You can't have a conversation with someone like that. You can have an argument with them, but you can't have a conversation with it. But Ted's very, like I said, I respect Ted for what he does. I enjoy his music very much. He, like I said, National Guitar Month. Ted is a guitarist. He's not going to be ever up there with Jeff Beck and Clapton and Yngwie Malmsteen. And he's not ever going to be in that group. And you know what? He doesn't care. Now, could Ted do some of that work? Probably. That's not him. He's just a rock and roll guitarist. You want to hear a rock and roll guitarist come out and play rock and roll for you? Ted Nugent's your man. Go back, get some Amboy Duke stuff, get some old stuff. And that's Ted for you.
Now is Ted, as far as I would call him a high IQ, high
Yes.
intelligent guy,
Yes.
way above. And I think that a lot of times, probably growing up and going to school, he was probably typically bored with a lot of things,
Mm-hmm.
bored with society, so he went out and did his own things. And so that's, I think, why he got also involved with politics and activism, things like that too. But if you're not a fan of that, or what his thinking or beliefs are, listen to his stuff before that, and just listen to it. Forget about the other side
Yep.
of him. Listen to the music.
Well,
He's
I'm sure he has a song
tremendous,
here that
very good player.
I'm sure there'll be an occasional song that might be having to do with hunting or politics, but not every one of his songs. So you can separate the two. On the flip side of it, Bruce Springsteen's the same way. Some of the older stuff. He's very believes one thing politically, but he doesn't mix that into his music. So that's how he kind of is a comparison for some people. You know, a lot of musicians today can't separate the two.
Oh, yes. They can't flip that switch over and take one hat off and put another hat on.
Yeah, when he's in the recording studio, he's Ted Nugent. He's the Motor City Madman.
I got a chance to meet him in 1989. I met him, got his autograph, and he said, it's 6 months of his life is music, recording studios, guitars, amplifiers, and 6 months is outdoors, wildlife, sportsman, and getting outdoors, connecting with nature. So it's a switch that flips 6 months each way, and that was it. But he very good guy, very smart, high IQ guy, and I do believe that he probably was spent a lot of time being bored in school, and so, but his guitar work is, like you said, never going to be up at that top level, but still tremendous to listen to the hooks and the riffs that he plays and his instrumentals. Unbelievable. I just love the song Stranglehold. That's not even on this album, but there's a long 7-8 minute song, but good guitar work.
Yeah, very good. The hunting he recharges from the music end. The music end he kind of recharges from the hunting.
Correct.
So here we go. Concerts and other notable stuff. Rattle and Hum is going to be at Carrion's down in Minneapolis. Irish pub.
Okay.
Rattle and Hum, of course, a YouTube band. This Friday at 7 p.m. Okay, Sir Psycho is a Red Hot Chili Peppers band we cover here on the show. One of the members went to the concert at US Bank. He dressed his Anthony Kiedis outfit, and he was gifted the set list off the stage from a security guard.
Oh, really? Okay.
And there it is. What it says, not a clue. But you know what? To a point, you just kind of need note cards as you're going along for giving a speech, Yeah. That's probably what this is just he has the basics of what it all says, But that if your favorite band just gave you the liner or the set list off the stage, that's framed in my office, I'll tell you that.
That is. The set lists are always framed. You got to do it. Got to have it.
Twisted Sister is getting back together in 2024, Dan.
Oh, Dee Snider's back at it. The guy doesn't stop.
Now, we talked about politics here. So this is kind of a lead into our new shows coming up.
Okay.
Let's just listen to what Dee had to say in this interview. I got this off Web is Jericho, Chris Jericho's website.
Sure.
So here we go. Earlier this year, however, Twisted Sister performed at a ceremony for their induction into the Metal Hall of Fame. The group performed a 3-song set. You Can't Stop Rock and Roll, Under the Blade, and of course, We're Not Going to Take It. Snyder was asked at the time of the mini set, spark more shows in the future. Hard no plans, he says. No plans at all to do that. People start talking to Dee and they mention money. The band's plans to get together to perform at different political rallies that need our support. Snyder wants to make sure the band's mega hit, We're Not Going to Take It, is used for the right causes. I know he's been spoken out before. Other political people wanted to use it, and he said no. Now, I don't know how much of that song he owns, because I know he did sell his album.
Yes. Okay.
So with that being said, we continue on. We were all in favor of going down to support Beto. right there. I vomited a little bit after that. But we couldn't schedule it, Snyder said. The band has a concern that the song "We're Not Going to Take It" is being used for the extreme right, is being cooperated by the extreme right. We want to make sure that people still know it's a song for everybody. It does not represent that selfish micro group. Again, here's D, kind of like Ted Nugent, that using big words and going on. Very very smart man. Um, it's really for the mass people, the moderate people, the people that just want to live their lives by themselves, and not people tell them they can't be themselves. So I think you'll see us at political rallies and stuff like that. We'll be out there next year.
Interesting.
Okay. Before I go on, I respect D for saying that. He wants to go support his political candidate with his song. He's got that platform. You go right ahead. Ted's done it. Other artists have done it. Not a problem with it. Just say good words about your candidate and not bad about the other. I've said the same thing about Ted too. Just pump up your guy instead. Don't get in it. And concert info coming up Saturday, July 22nd. Medina, Cinderella's Tom Kiefer Band with guests LA Guns. Saturday, July 22nd. Doors open at 7, show at 8. We will be there.
This will be good.
This will be a good LA Guns, Tracy Guns. And they're going to be up at Monaga the night before. So if you're going up to that music fest beforehand,
okay,
see them down here. Now, your homework assignment, Dan.
I've got my pen and pencil ready. And
here you go. Your homework assignment. Go back and listen to some old Tom Kiefer and Cinderella stuff. Go back and listen to your old LA Guns stuff.
Yes.
Because they will play all of it at the shows. He's going to mix it all up. LA Guns will play some old. And you know what? They might have had some new stuff out too, like Tom Kiefer. Use your Spotify. Wink. Shameless plug there for Spotify. Use Spotify. Look up their songs. Look at the new ones. Now, when you look up LA Guns, make sure you get the Tracy Guns stuff after the split. But look up their stuff, new and old. Look up Cinderella, new and old Tom Kiefer's solo stuff. Because you never know what he's going to pull out and play. And that, sir.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that just because of that very, very thing. I'm not looking for the new music, although that would be nice to see. For bands like this, they're going to
familiarize yourself with it.
They're going to be playing the songs that the people want to hear, the songs that people know, the popular old school songs. The very debut, the LA Guns debut album, still one of my favorites. Good stuff. Now they have a new album out called Black Diamond. Now, will they play 3 songs off that album?
They might off of that now. Yep.
They certainly might. I don't know a lot of the newer stuff. The older stuff is good. LA Bands is one of those bands that just came in and got kind of flew under the radar, not on purpose, but other things were happening and they got lost in the shuffle. LA Guns
throw the money their way.
Very talented band. Cinderella and Tom Kiefer in particular, one of my favorite vocalists of all time.
And he kind of lucked out. He unintentionally rode the Bon Jovi coattails for a little bit there. John Bon Jovi discovered him. So their first tours with John. So he kind of had that plug right there.
Yep.
As we said before, LA Guns. Guns N' Roses. Where do you think the Guns part came from?
Yep.
Axl Rose and Tracy Guns. So Tracy knew what he was doing. He's got talent. It's just he got lost in the shuffle. I think record companies is kind of, they were the redhead stepchild.
The timing is so important when all these things come out, and similar to Mother Love Bone, they're supposed to be the next big act. Andrew Wood dies. Guns N' Roses kind of slides into that spot, and they're pushed heavily pushed and promoted, and they get everything. Well, LA Guns come sliding in and kind of gets missed the boat. Cinderella very popular for years.
But and they did Heartbreak Station, which is one of my favorite albums. But just
is it okay?
Me again, very bluesy. Like the songs on there, and I think they kind of were at the end of their run there. They had their run.
I like the old Cinderella stuff. Their first 3 albums, I think, very good stuff. So
Long Cold Winter was a good one too. Yeah.
Yes, I did remember buying that at the store when that first came out. That cassette, loved it. Now, we have our homework to do, like you just gave us the homework, because that show is coming up at the end of July, the 22nd.
We got plenty of time, no rush.
To get our homework done, because that will be a good show. We do have it on our calendar for our website. Feel free to get some tickets and go to that show as well. Join us over there at the Medina Entertainment Center.
And fair warning, I've always plugged before, stay at the hotel next door. It is sold out already.
It is. Yes. In fact, we both looked. That hotel sells out so fast for these big acts that come into town. There's nothing left. The hotel is out.
So get the room before you get the concert ticket, because you could always cancel a hotel reservation and not get charged. You buy the tickets, you bought them. So.
True. Yes, that'll be fun. Look forward to that show as late July. It's always fun summertime music. That's all I've got for this week. Anything else, Andy?
Well, just a subliminal message there in case you didn't catch it. The rooms are sold out. We didn't get one. We're going to need a ride home afterwards, is what we're trying to say to you people.
Yes,
anyone there can go to ride home.
Get the room.
Yeah,
they're sold out. So we have the tickets. We will be going there, but it's always best to get it, like Andy says, beforehand. Get the hotel room first. Great location there. That's all I've got here for this week. Enjoy your week, everyone. See you next time.
See ya.
See ya.